This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everyone. I know this can be a little woo for some, and many more, I believe, are also finally realizing that there's more out there. We want to learn more. We want to move our lives forward, and we're not really sure what it is. But maybe it's this thing they call metaphysics, spirituality, energy. We're going to dig back into that today with her. She has so much insight. We're going to start with the universe. What is the universe? Why is it important to even talk about it? We're gonna see why in just a moment. She is someone who harnesses the power of energy and offers holistic healing. Chakra Shelli Heals is back with us. How are you doing today?
Steve, good, really good. I just felt inspired here to say that. I can't give the exact day, but it's being published right as we speak, putting together. But I've written a book, and the entitlement of the book is Crystals, comma, Earth, comma, and Soul Technology. And so I think just real quick, to make a good point in that I'm coming from the angle of as we go forward with the AI, and here I use AI, so don't get me wrong, and I'm going forward with the collective, but I also believe that the further we go with plastic and artificial, we're going to crave our subconscious, and our whole being is going to start craving organic, like earth and where we came from. So that was the perfect way, I feel like, to start out what is the, universe.
I
What
completely agree with you. And I feel the same and that everything is so digital, artificial intelligence, social media, typing, no touch points, very impersonal, that there's going to be a shift where it's going to reverse, where we are going to be craving connection with others, actually talking on the phone to somebody, maybe even sending a handwritten note, really back to earth, connecting with earth. We're going to be like, I need it. I'm missing something here because everything has gotten so digitally sterilized, if you will.
I needed to hear what you just said about your insight on maybe even handwritten notes, because when I give a reading, people have asked me, why do you write it out? Why don't you just type it? But I'll sit there in front of them and start writing, and I hand them my own handwriting, and I use the different colored pens because color is what I'm seeing on that particular point. I can see your
Mm.
aura, the colors. But I like that you brought that up, and I've got many that say, wow, thank you for writing this down. Like, that blows me away you did that. But yeah, I feel like uh it's just a need to tap into the earth, and or tap into our cosmos, our universe, our solar system. It's massive.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we lost touch. Yeah. Technology is great and all, but here we are with this thing called social media. We're all connected. Hey, beautiful, fantastic. Meet people you haven't seen in years. Connected with other people that are friends of friends and on and on. Okay, that's great. Then not you, but just in general. Tell me why there's epidemic proportions of loneliness right now. Why
Oh,
is that? When we have this social connection, because it's not real. It's the truth. And I use social media every day. I use it in my business. I do social media marketing for others I have a marketing company. Yes, it's all good, but the connection, our interpersonal close connection has vaporized. It's gone away. And we are going to be wanting it bad and back very soon. How soon? Yeah, I don't know, but my intuition tells me there's going to be shifts in the next year and then two big shifts where we're going to be connected again.
yes,
What are you
I
feeling?
agree.
What do you,
A
yeah?
hundred percent.
Mm.
100%. You know, this is funny that you brought that up about the depression or feeling loneliness more so than ever. And I was driving down the street the other day and had the clearest thought come through my mind. We ought to go ask babies, newborn babies, why, if they really need to be held, can't they just take time out and email us, let us know, send it in the email. Don't say it verbally or don't need to be held or touched. They wouldn't make it. We would not physically, literally make it without human touch. And likewise, even with the voice, when you get a little bit older, you don't need to be held, I guess. Still human to human. People that need people are the luckiest people in the world, and that is no joke.
Oh, this wasn't what we were intending to talk about today, but it's important, and we're both feeling the same thing. And to your point, you make a phone call, you call a company, you get an automated voice. I just want to talk to a human. And even if they clone a human voice, my belief, love to hear yours, that even though it sounds like a human voice, the true energy or energetic imprint is not there. So on the flip side, we know, but we don't know. Like when you're hearing it, oh, it sounds like a human voice, with a message or, AI or whatever it is, but it's not connecting energetically because it's not real. You follow?
100%. And I'll tell you what, the other day I was hung up on 3 times by a robot. And I thought it was human at first because it said, and it was like my own voice, similar, a woman's voice. She sounded educated or caring, a little caring. She said, I've got you. And I thought, wow, excellent. Next thing I know, she asked me a couple of questions and it had to do with, I wanted to pay them. It wasn't like I'm asking for money, but she said, that's wrong. Goodbye. And she hung up on me. And I called back, a couple times. I kept saying, I want to speak to a person. Anyway, I'm tracking with you when you say that we do need human and it does make a difference. I think that we, us humans, are the technology that we're looking for.
Hmm. Wow. I think you're right. I never thought of it that way. We're looking for something. We don't know what it is. We thought it was robots and artificial intelligence. It's great. It's helpful. It can, inspire you creatively, at least a starting point. Oh, I didn't see that view and all of that. But we're going to soon realize that there's something missing, and that's the human. There's that it's just it's not there, and more. And I want to go back to what you said before, the baby that needs to be held. It's believed, and this is, proven over years of research, that if we didn't get the pacification or the comfort of our parents, one or both, that it's in our subconscious and we're looking to fix that. And I'm not throwing any parents under the bus, but every child is different. And parents could be wonderful, doting, but their kid needed more. They never even knew it, but the kid was, it just, the needs weren't met. And now that child grows up and they're piloting from their subconscious in the adult life, looking for that connection. So they're into relationships that don't support and other issues and just trying to find it. Now, add now to that, where parents are busy, there's technology and all, and everybody thinks it's great, but that kid now really needs a connection and it's not there. And again, no parents thrown under the bus at all, but this is what we're realizing that there's something missing. Now it's going to even be more missing because of all this technology. What are your thoughts?
Exactly. No, 100%. And I've noticed that with my kids and or my grandkids, the babies that are being born, they have computers. They just sit there. They put them in their crib. I mean, they're good parents. Don't get me wrong, anybody, but I'm just saying you're rolling with the flow, which is artificial. AI, artificial intelligence, putting the babies in the bed, turning on the computer or the robot that's connected to the crib to talk it to sleep, sing it to sleep, even putting stars, fake stars up in the room. I mean, that's good, fine and dandy. But as we go forward again, just to make that full loop, that I think we're going to be more aware than ever about how important we are, how powerful we are, our spirits, and what the powerful connection we have with Earth and her solar system.
Mm. And you bring it back in memory. My oldest is 30. What did I used to do? Put her in front of the TV. Barney the dinosaur would be on, and she would watch it. And then as soon as Barney was over and that song came on, I love you, and it was over, she started crying because it's over. But that was my computer at that time, and I did the same thing. It's like, oh, I should be fine. Okay, I can get stuff done over here. But now I look back and I wonder if that was maybe counterproductive overall. Let's pivot to this thing called the universe, because we often hear that the universe supports us. The universe has my back. Those types of things. What is the universe? Now, we're not debating anything here, just different viewpoints. If you talk to my friend Trish and I mention the universe, she says, well, who do you think created the universe? She's very religious, so that's where that goes, and that's fine for her. That's great. There's others believe that the universe is just around us, this thing around us. Others believe that we are the universe. We create our reality. We create the universe. My personal jury is somewhat out on all of this, but I'd love to know your thoughts. What do you think?
I believe, that the universe influences our spirit, that our body is of Earth. We're an extension of Earth. I don't get me wrong, everybody. I believe in God. I really believe in the angels. I fully am on board with spirit guides,
Mm,
and they all tie into love or above. But back to this universe, the cosmos. I can see us more so. I pull my thoughts into the solar system of Earth. So I want to kind of start there and take a look at the fact that I see our spirits come down through this particular solar system, and all these planets bless us. So, for example, I know I mentioned about the chakras, but they're tied to planets. So that whole thing with Mars and the root chakra, and then Venus and the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus and the sun, and the heart and the moon, and the throat chakra with Mercury, and the third eye chakra with Saturn, and the crown chakra with Jupiter. Those hold personality traits. But then if we look at, and I wanted to talk about real quick, because last time we spoke, we got on the topic of the moon. I just put a plug in for myself. I said I just will use this as an example that I was born during a new moon, so I love to learn. I'm a lifelong learner. I have this craving for change and new beginnings. But
mm,
there are 8 phases to the moon. So the waxing crescent comes right after the new moon, and it gives us personality attributes. It blesses our soul with experiencing these attributes. So somebody that's born during a waxing moon is gifted with the feeling of hopeful. They've got that in their personality. Determined, they've got that in their personality. They're focused on new beginnings, yes, but they're good at taking action. That's a blessing to them. That this is widely spoke of in intelligent groups and high studies, that this is validated. And then the first quarter is got this personality of, first quarter of the moon is got the personality of dynamic. They are doers, go-getters. They're oriented with, they're very decisive. And then the waxing gibbous, they love to, they're very alert. They like progress. They're very inspired by certain things, and they go for it. They've got that in their personality. And then the full moon, if people, you find if you're born during a full moon, when you're born, and you ask where the full moon was on this particular date, Google will tell you, it will validate.
sure.
But know this, when you find out you were born during a full moon, you're intuitive, you're psychic, you have great depth about your personality, and then there's the waning gibbous, and that they are more focused on releasing the old and starting with the new. They love learning, they love reflecting. Um, they're competitive. They have that in there as an attribute. And then two more, the third quarter, that's all about, they've got this feeling, this intention of part to their personality. They too are intuitive, but they love to solve things. They'll think about stuff that needs to be solved and they're good at it. They're natural teachers. You find a lot of teachers and leaders that are born during a third quarter moon, and then the one in crescent. This is the last one, but they too are more psychic, intuitive, and they like reflecting on everything that takes place around them because they're good at figuring it out. They have an intense knowing.
I never knew that the moon influenced us. What the stage of the moon was when we were born. Never heard
We
that.
normally don't. Yeah, we normally don't. That was an intuitive given to me several years ago. And when I do my readings, they'll say, "Oh, you're what my sign. Here's what my sign is," and I'll tell them I'm going with the moon in just a minute because I'm going to tell you what I see with your colors around your body. But I know through science we can tie the science in here, and then it speaks volumes. In fact, the moon really happens as a direct result of the sunlight, the surface of the moon from Earth. We see it from Earth, but we're seeing, it's different 8 phases through the sunlight, how it's hitting the moon. I think that's cool.
I just Googled. I was born during a waxing crescent moon.
There we go. That makes sense.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
You've got this personality that gives you hope. You're very hopeful, but you're very determined. You can go for it. Once you know what you want, it's a done deal. You're focused. You like new beginnings. You're good at that. And you like taking action. You are intuitive.
I can't disagree with any of that. And as a matter of fact, what you said, once I know what it is, it's pretty much done. I say that all the time in the media world. Like I work on commercials and campaigns and things like that. When I see it in my mind, when it appears, doesn't happen all the time, but if I have an idea or a concept and I've seen it, it's already executed. Like for example, here, thinking of let's say a TV commercial, whatever it might be. If I'm thinking it's already done. Yes, you have to go through the logistics and get it done, but it's already done. Does that make sense? Where I already see it done. Like just what you said though, when I know what I want or the direction, that's it. And guess what? You didn't know what phase moon. I just looked. So it's not like somebody could say, well, she knows that and she's just making it up to fit you. No, you had no idea. And and if that wasn't true for me, I would call you out on it. I said, well, the 3 of those are right, but the one doesn't fit me. Everything there applies. I'd have to say, yeah, new beginnings are exciting. I'm cautious. I'm a Virgo, yes, but knowing there's a fresh new start does excite me. Yeah.
Yes. And it's a big deal. It's not a small thing. That's a gift, a true gift from the universe, from our solar system. And yeah, it's good stuff. But we've got, the first time we talked, we kind of spoke on mostly the chakras and the crystals that promote the well-being of the pools of energy inside of us, which is valuable. But let me say this, our bodies, our physical is an extension of Earth. And so we look at crystals, and crystals are made of Earth, and they're full of life force energy. But there's, a ton of different ways, different forms of energy. And so when you look at the birth dates, now the zodiac signs, I'm just going to say that the birthstones, so we go through life and we're giving out this energy. We don't even know that we're doing it. We're giving out energy. And you go, to the supermarket, you go to work, you go to do this, so on and so forth around each other. We are subconscious knows, but our conscious mind does not know. Our body knows, but our conscious mind doesn't know. But we are giving out life force energy through different categories. We hold this energy of earth in us. So for example, if you're born if you're in Aries, March, you've got the strength of courage and clarity, but your birthstone is a diamond. It's very strong. It's a very valuable, high frequency strength, and it's an energy. So if you cross paths with somebody, they are going to get that kind of energy from you. The Taurus, is the emerald. They're
Mm.
very lovable, loyal, but it's the emerald, and that's that frequency that they're getting. Just one more, because you can Google, of course, nowadays what your birthstone is. But to make a point, the Gemini is a pearl or an alexandrite or the moonstone, but it's that frequency of these crystals that are super valuable. It's just that some days you'll get home and you may feel like, wow, I am exhausted, but I didn't do anything extra today.
Mm.
It's because, this is what I say, it is because you crossed paths with somebody that needed your energy. And the subconscious, the subtle body that's around us, your aura, is giving off this energy to all that you come in contact with. So if you get home and you're tired and you have access to at least your birthstone, or finding out what your crystal is, your life path color, your crystal, you can sit it by you or hold it in your hand. Keep it with you so that when you feel run down or, foggy thinking, grab out that crystal because it has energy.
Wow. Well, I don't know. Why don't I ever think of that? I have, a bag of crystals here I just bought, found a new store. I was traveling and, I love it because they're legit. I know they're real. I didn't think about getting a birthstone. So what you're saying, Shelly, is that we should, for maximum energetic benefit, if you will, um, carry our birthstone. Wow.
And in fact, I'm going to go just give this information one little bit here. On the topic of crystals and their energies, you could carry a rock with you, hold it in your hand because you got your hand chakras in the palm of your hand. You've got this extra energy that comes out, that life force energy. So holding a palm crystal in your hand, it will go right into your body. Likewise, there are people that I highly recommend wearing bracelets.
Mm.
Um, if you wear, for example, if you're feeling anxiety and you just need that calming feeling, extra help, and you're going into a high energy situation, you wear amethyst on your left hand. The whole left side of you is yin. So you would wear it to receive. You receive calm, you receive, getting help with anxiety. So you'd wear your bracelet on your left arm. If you're going into a situation where you want to take and be a leader and you need that little extra oomph, I highly recommend to wear red jasper, or
Wow.
bloodstone, or, you know, tourmaline, black tourmaline, and it's on the right because you're giving it out. The people don't realize it. Here again, we're exchanging energy all the time. It's positive, it's a good thing, but knowing how to use it strategically, it's even better. It's good stuff.
Black tourmaline right over here. I
Bam.
assume I just bought it and it's real. I mean, that's the exciting part. It's like raw and real. Um, just what you said. Let's say you're going into a meeting, you want others to be on your page, maybe follow you, whatever it is. Like I'm holding it in my right hand. Same thing as
Yes.
wearing it on a bracelet, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, and the throat chakra to speak what clarity into a situation when you're going to be speaking at the meeting, you would wear your black tourmaline in your left hand because it's there to bring you, keep negative away from you. And then you would wear or hold it in your hand the blue laced agate or the celestite or aquamarine to communicate through the throat chakra, to give that extra energy into the room. you'll feel it 100%, but they'll feel it too, and they don't need to realize it.
Wow. And I saw amethyst when I was going through the stones. I'm like, thing's overrated. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Let me go for the ones, I don't really know the name of, except for the rose quartz. I always get a rose quartz. We're out of time. This is fantastic. We didn't even decide fully where we were going to be going today in terms of what we're talking about. And here we are. The book you mentioned, when are we going to see that book? Is it already out or is it soon to be?
Soon to be. And I'm, working with the publishers now. I think if I understand it correctly, we've got 1 more month to go, at least 3 more weeks. But yeah, when I get off from here today, I'm going to be assertive. I just got to keep it going, but that's my goal. Yeah, it's right away.
The premise of that book, I think, is fantastic. It's everything that we're talking about and everything that people are going to be craving, but they don't know what they're craving. That's the crazy part about all of this. They're looking for something. We all are. We're not really sure what it is. You and I, many years ago, I figured it out. I have in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. Why? Because I needed it. That like the student was ready, the teacher showed up. I think it's our goal for others to realize this, and what's actually going on out there in our universe, right?
That's well put. Appreciate those
Thank
words.
you.
Thank you.
How do we find you?
I've got a website, and it is let's see, S or C, CH is Chakra Shelli Heals.com.
Yep. Chakra, CHAKRA, Shelli, SHELLI, the word heals.com. This is what you do. This is what all of this does. This is what we're talking about here. Even just, connecting with people again, heals, connecting with the earth, heals, connecting with these little stones, heals. It works. Don't be afraid. Always wonderful talking with you, Shelli.
Let me help you find your happy place, is what I would say to the public. Let me help you find you to see all your strengths and beauty. You are soul technology.
When you said, let me help you find your happy place, I really thought you were talking to me. You're talking to everybody because it applies.
Everybody, and you too. Yes.
It applies to all of us, right? Thank you for being here today. So much more to talk about next time we get together. And I want to dig a little bit deeper into your book, if we may, next time we get together.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.